Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about accessory movements. I usually spend bulk of my videos talking about squat, bench, and deadlift. I'm going to be talking about my top 8 movements outside of the squat, bench, and deadlift for this current training block. But anyways, let's just hop right into it. So being a powerlifter, the bulk of my workout is focused on squat, bench, and deadlift because that's what you're training for in competition, maxing out on your squat, bench, and deadlift. But I neglect to talk a lot about accessories in most of my videos, but accessories make up the bulk of my workout, all of those bodybuilding hypertrophy exercises. I'm going to be showing you 8 of the current accessories that I have programmed into my training block. Obviously, I have a lot more than that because I have 5 lifting days a week and usually about 4 to 6 accessories on any given training day. But in no particular order, number 1 is going to be step-ups. I think it's essential that everyone has at least one single leg exercise programmed in throughout every single training block. Step-ups are going to be a movement that's a little bit more challenging on your stability, so I'd recommend starting somewhere a little bit easier that's going to be less challenging on your stability, like a split squat with both feet on the ground. I have Bulgarian split squats in my program with the back foot on the bench. That's one of the exercises that I love to hate. That's something that you could load a little bit more because the stability is a little less challenging. Number 2 is pull-ups. I love making sure that I'm able to progress on my body weight strength because especially if you're a powerlifter and you're tempted to like bulk all the time, it's important to make sure that you're still keeping your body weight in check and able to move your body weight around when you're bulking. But number 3 is going to be Larson bench. Larson bench is my favorite assistance movement to the bench press by far. You can also do this with dumbbells. I also currently have just regular dumbbell bench programs that I'm loving, making sure that I have chest accessories, and every program is important for my progression on the bench press, obviously. Number 4 is going to be RDLs. I prefer RDLs with a barbell because I can load them more and it's a lot more fun to see how much weight I can lift. But because I'm in off season, everything's a little bit lighter and a little bit more focused on slower control, higher reps. So these are just sets of 12 with the 90s. I was doing hundreds at the commercial gym, but I don't have hundreds in my home gym, so I just went extra light on this day. But the next exercise you're going to see for number 5 is going to be single arm lat pull downs. Just like for the importance of training your single leg stability, it's obviously important to make sure you're training your single arm stability as well to make sure you don't have imbalances from side to side. So single arm lat pull downs are one of my favorites. I also really like single arm rowing variations. One new movement that I have programmed in this training block is single arm seal rows. So I like to, just for mixing up the monotony of training, making sure that you're changing around some of the variations. It's not necessarily essential for progress. You can train the same movements over and over and over again, but just for boredom's sake, it's important to have a little bit of variety for mentally staying super interested and engaged in making sure you're not getting bored at the end of your workouts, because the biggest way to progress is to do the same things over and over and over again and not do like trendy exercises, changing it up all the time. But sometimes just mentally it's good to just swap out some new exercises. But number 6, another important neglected exercise for powerlifters is core. Making sure you're having at least one core movement every single training block is essential. I love cable wood chops. That's what number 6 was. And then number 7 is going to be incline bicep curls. This is my favorite curling variation because you get a little bit more of a stretch at the bottom. And then the last clip you're going to see is single arm tricep kickbacks. And I like this movement because you're getting more of a stretch. It's harder than the standing up, just regular single arm tricep extension. And also my daughter was having a little dance party, so it was a fun time. And I couldn't close this video out without showing at least one squat, bench, and deadlift video from the week. So this was week 1. Everything was super light and moved speedier and faster than expected. But I had top triples at 215 on squat, 135 on bench, and 295 pounds on deadlift. And I also signed up for my next powerlifting competition in October, so I'm about 20 weeks out right now. But I'm really, really excited. And honestly, I just love training any specific phase of training. Right now I'm in more of a cross training phase where I also have a 5K coming up in July in a few weeks. So being able to train, being able to push my body cardiovascularly and then also just strength wise is really fun. I just think that the gift and privilege to move your body is so fun. However you move your body, whatever you like doing in the gym, just being able to move and being grateful to move, because not everyone has the gift of health. So that's just something that I wanted to close this video out on. I hope you are enjoying your current phases of training. There's 3 main considerations you're going to want to take when you're programming your accessories to the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. The first one is going to be hypertrophy. So obviously you're going to have specific muscle targets that you want to hit in a week. Every single upper body muscle, chest, shoulders, triceps, biceps, back. Kind of want to make sure you at least have a couple exercises for each of those muscle groups. Same thing for legs, obviously quads, hamstring, glutes, and then core. Powerlifters, make sure you're not forgetting your core. So after you get the hypertrophy taken care of, function is going to be the most practical purpose of your accessories, because when you're a powerlifter, you're trying to maximize your strength in the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. So you're going to be looking at your weak points. So for example, on bench, if I struggle with my chest, right now I'm doing Larson bench. I'm doing my back off 2x6 at 120. So that's going to be targeting, removing the leg drive from the bench press, and then also working on the off chest position, because I have my same grip as my comp grip. So it's more chest focused movement. I also have dumbbell bench after that. So targeting those weak points, where is your limiting factor when you're in your maximal strength on the squat. If I'm struggling out of the hole, if my quads are the weak point, I'm going to be programming lots of different quad exercises, high bar squats, things that are going to get me into more of an upright position. And then the third is just going to be fun. Like, most important neglected part of training when you've been training for years is, like, if you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're not liking specific exercises, might be time to change it out. You're going to be performing better when you're having fun with the movements. For example, just aside from powerlifting, if you don't like running, why would you be a runner? You're not going to be enjoying that physical activity. So same thing, even if you're a powerlifter, you don't have to like every single movement that you're doing in the gym. Find some exercise that you like, and then if you get bored of it after some time, swap it out and change some new exercises. And when it comes to the third point that I mentioned, with having fun with your accessories, choosing movements that you actually like doing and you're gonna have fun progressing on, sometimes there's exercises that you might really enjoy, but you have to take it out of the program eventually, because you're gonna stall out if you just do it forever and ever. I really like split squats, but I can't just do split squats every single training block, even though they're really hard. But might need to swap it out for some reverse lunges, or some deficit split squats, or some single leg RDLs. Making sure that you have those targeted specific slots for each of your exercises is important for the fun exercises, swapping selections. Like on split squats, that would be my single leg exercise focused on quads. So I might change that out for step ups or a reverse lunge, something like that. But if you're just doing the same exercises over and over again, even if you really like them, you'll still like them. They'll still be there when you go back to them, but taking a couple blocks off can be helpful for progress. So I'm just finishing up my last exercise now. So last thing I'll leave you with, outside of the big 3 considerations with accessories, which is hypertrophy, function, and then fun, but making sure that you're actually pushing your exercises appropriately. It's a lot better to do just literally 1 tricep exercise and actually push it appropriately than to do 5 and then just barely even pushing yourself at all. So quality over quantity. But anyways, thank you for watching today's video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye.